And then from here, let's have a seat. You could sit in your chair, you could sit on the floor. And let's do a different position than you were doing before. So if you were sitting cross-legged before, maybe take the legs out. You could have one leg out, one leg bent, whatever you prefer. You can sit up on a blanket. And I'm gonna take the hands and place the backs of the wrists together. And then just start, you can look at your wrists with your eyes. That helps your brain just to keep the wrists together. And I'm just rolling around. Continue to breathe. And now I'm going to go the opposite direction. Good. And then just kind of shake out your wrists. And sit up a little bit taller in whatever position you're in. Good. And now we're going to exhale. Let's bring the soles of the feet together, because my guess is that nobody's choosing that one just automatically on your own. So give it a try. If you are, then choose one of the other ones. And you can always prop the knees up with pillows or blocks. You can always put your hands behind your back and feel like you're stretching your knees away from your feet. Take a breath in and a breath out, relaxing through the shoulders. Good, one more time. Good. Now, if you have any pain in this position, please change your legs now, because we're going to do a little more for the wrists, okay? So what we're going to do is take your right hand, palm up, inhale. As you exhale, let's straighten the arm and turn the fingers toward the floor. So my palm is facing forward and my shoulders relax. So the tendency is to go like this. See if you can bring it down. Okay. You're going to take the left hand and get a hold of the pinky finger. Pull it out a little bit. And then exhale. Can you stretch it back as you stretch the pinky away from the thumb? Good. And then inhale, get a hold of the ring finger. Give it a little tug, and then exhale, stretch it back. So this whole time, you're really trying to widen the hand. So it might be doing this, just spread it out if you can. And then middle, relaxing that shoulder. Good, index. Now to get the thumb, you're coming up from underneath, reach for the thumb, and just stretch it back. And then just side to side. And let's change leg positions again. So you've been in this soles of feet together. Let's stretch them out straight. And if this is really intense for you, just roll up a blanket and put it below your knees. Okay, again, you can have a piece of furniture or the wall behind your back if you'd like. All right, left hand, inhale, palm up. And then exhale, we're turning the fingertips toward the floor, relaxing the shoulder away from the ear. And inhale to get your right hand, get a hold of the pinky finger, pull it out a little bit, and then exhale, tug it back. Good, next finger. And just notice how your hands feel. Notice where you're feeling you're not overdoing this or forcing anything, of course. Keep relaxing through your shoulders. And then coming up underneath, getting a hold of the thumb. Exhale, stretch it back. Good. And then just in and out with the hands a few times. Good. And we're going to come on up onto our feet. Let's come up through a forward fold. You're welcome to use the chair, of course, to help you. What I'm going to do is walk my hands back towards my feet, let my knees bend. So your hands could be on something, and you might feel like you want to keep your back aligned like so. Or you might like to fold over and let your back round a little bit. Wherever you are, just let your neck go. Let your arms and shoulders go if you can. Following your breath in, long inhale. And as you exhale, just nod the head up and down like you're saying yes. Slowly. Good. And then
a little bit slowly, side to side, like you're saying no. Good. And now let's bend the knees if you're not already, and you can choose to either roll slowly up or like a ragdoll style, or you can reach your chest forward and come through chair pose like we often do.
Good. And then once you get there, head up toward the ceiling, the top of the head reaching upward. Good. Inhale, rolling the shoulders up, and exhale, take them down your back. Good. And again. Good. And then we'll widen the feet just about shoulder distance, arms at your sides, shoulders relax down your back. We're just going to do our side bending here. Taking your time, whatever kind of breath you want to use, feeling the balls of the feet and the heels of the feet pressing down. Good. All right, and then next time you come up towards center, let's put a little bend in the knees and hula hoop the hips around. It's loosening up anything that might be tight around the hips, low back. All right. Now, I know I didn't say this in the beginning, but if you have a little wall space where you can, just enough space for your foot, you're going to use that. Now, if you're super tight in your hamstrings, then you might need to use your chair instead. So I'm going to show it both ways. If you're not tight in your hamstrings or not super tight, then definitely try to find a wall space because it's way different than the chair, okay? I'll show you what we're going to do first. So you're going to be standing in front of the wall, and you're going to be bringing your leg up on the wall like I was just showing. Now, my hip is just here, is the height of my hip. I'm not going to go any higher than that. Okay. But for a lot of people, just doing that is pretty challenging. They'll find themselves buckling like this or tucking their tails under to make that happen. So if that's the case, what you're going to do is lower the leg. Okay. And you've really got to press it into the wall to make it stay. People will say, like, oh, it keeps sliding. Well, you got to press it in there. Okay. And you want this bottom heel to be below the hip. Even mine looks a little behind it right now. Let me take a step forward. Whew. Yeah, it's a big difference in the stretch. Okay. And say that this is not an option, that like when you do this, even when you take it low, you are so tight that you're having to bend your standing leg. Instead, take it to the chair seat. Okay. And do it like this. And you can always work with bending and straightening this upper leg. All right, so I'm going to talk you through it as though it's on the wall. Okay, so first things first, straighten your bottom leg. And yeah, you can come in and out of it. Breathe. Now, can you feel like you're tilting your tail up behind you as though you had a big fluffy tail and you're trying to stick it up rather than tuck it under? And if you feel like you're tucking it under like this, which most people probably are, then lower your foot on the wall until you feel like you can stick your butt behind you, like you're sticking your butt out behind you. Okay. Keep pressing your foot into the floor and your foot into the wall. And you might be surprised at how difficult this is. It's pretty challenging. All right. Now you can choose to stay right here. You can also choose to lift your arms up toward the ceiling and breathe. Okay. You can do this with your foot on the chair as well. You're just lifting your arms up. Good. Now you can choose to stay here, or you can exhale, turn your chest toward the right, take your left hand to the outer right knee and your right hand to your hip. So you're twisting. Breathe. Keep straightening that bottom leg. Keep standing tall. Good. Now exhale, untwist. Inhale, reaching the arms up if you can. And exhale, step the leg down. Ooh, good. All right, just step side to side a little bit, shake it out. Now, if you're at the wall, let's take the hands to the wall, and it's just a wall down dog. So you're just kind of hanging there. If you're at the chair, you can do this with your chair seat like we often do. Good. Just take a couple breaths there. Let your neck relax. Again, tilting the tail up, your knees can be bent or straight. Add one more breath there. And then just walking out of that, walking toward the wall or the chair, arms come down. And inhale, rolling the shoulders up. Exhale, take them down your back. All right, gonna do the left side. Okay, so first of all, getting close enough to the wall so that your right heel will be below your right hip. And then exhale, see if you can take that foot up to the wall and straighten the bottom leg. Good, and you can try to straighten the top leg too. Good, try to stick your tail out behind you. So most likely, most people end up tucking their tail like this, right? Just their foot's too high. So just lower the foot enough. It doesn't need to be as high as your hip, so you can stick your tail out behind you. Okay, good. Keep breathing. And it's a balance pose too, right? Press your foot into the wall, press your other foot into the floor. Good. Long, slow breaths. And then you could try to take your arms up toward the ceiling if you want. Keep pressing those feet. And then exhale, you could try twisting if you'd like. So your chest turns to the left hand comes to your hip, right hand to outer left knee or thigh. Good. Inhale and exhale. Good. Inhale and exhale, untwist. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, step it down. Good. And now let's just kind of either swing and twist, or you can hula hoop, whichever you prefer. All right. We're going to stay with this wall space, but we're not going to use our foot on it this time. Or you could stay with your chair. Now, if you're using the chair, you're going to use the back side of the chair, okay? So it's a little higher. I'm going to show it with the wall. What we're going to do this time is we're going to be facing the wall. And inhale, I know you can't see my head, but you won't need to. You'll see it in a minute. You're going to exhale, hinge at the hips, but do you see that I'm going to lift one foot off the floor, and you see my hip wanted to naturally open. I'm going to close the hip. I'm going to lean forward, but you see my elbows are bent. I'm not trying to do warrior three like this. I'm just kind of using the wall for support. And my weight is going to be in my standing leg heel. So I can tap my toes without having to shift my weight. Okay, and the reason for that is that we're building hip strength in this pose. Okay, so chest is trying to face the floor or the wall. Hip is trying to face the floor. So keep turning that imaginary teacup on your sacrum. And it doesn't matter how high this back foot is, okay? And also, it doesn't matter if the bottom leg is straight. In this one, you can have that bottom leg bent. In fact, that might increase your hip strength more, as long as you can tap this toe. Get 2 more breaths. Relax your jaw. And on the chair, it's the same thing. Okay, 1 more breath. Good, and then exhale. Bring the foot next to the other foot. Let's just stand for a moment, okay, before switching sides. You might close your eyes. Notice your fingers. Notice your feet. Notice the 2 hips. All right, let's do the other side. Notice if you zoned out or if you're fully present during that little pause. not with judgment, just to notice. Okay, so you come to your support, chair or wall. He'll inhale, and then exhale, take the other leg back. Right, so I can tap. I've got my knee bent because I really want to build this hip strength, right? So I got my knee bent, but I can tap the toe. So the knee is not coming forward like this. The weight is in the heel. Head. Neck relaxed, jaw relaxed. And where we are attempting to kind of strengthen and feel is the standing leg hip. One more breath. And release. Good. This time, they'll stand on both feet. And then roll the ankle. They're just going to roll around the outer edges of the foot. And remember, you can look at it as you do this, and that just helps the brain notice where your mobility is and then reverse it. I'm going to put in my other headset here because I think I'm going to lose power. And before you switch to the other side, stand on both feet and try to notice the difference in the 2 feet. And how they're making contact with the floor, and also in the 2 ankles. Let's see, can you guys at home hear me now? Yeah, but it's still not my AirPods. Okay, let me get this. There we go. I think I'm going to get it. And so you're rolling the other ankle if you didn't hear me saying that. I know you lost me again. Let's see. Come on, baby. And then going the other way. Head. And then standing. Okay, now we're going to try to do something. And so you guys with the ankle, like weak ankles, this is to help that, right? And we all need help with our ankles. But what we're first going to do is lift the toes off the floor. So I've got the balls of my feet down like that, and I'm just lifting the toes as best I can. You can always hold on to something for this if you want. And what I'm doing is I'm going to roll onto the pinky toe edge, but still pull the balls of the feet back or pull the toes back. And then I'm going to go in. So it's like knock knees on the big toe edge, and then I'm on the pinky toe edge. And I'm just going slowly, so I'm careful with my knees. And this thing does not want to connect to my other headset. Maybe because I didn't start with it. Good, a few more times just like that. And then stand. Straighten your legs. Notice how your ankles feel. Take a breath in and a long breath out. Okay, now we're going to take the ankles in the other direction. Now what we're going to do is, you can hold on to something, it's just going to inhale, lift them, and exhale, lower them, and see if you can dorsiflex, flex the ankles, lifting the soles of the feet up. So when I'm doing this, try to do it, just use your balance support as a guide rather than, rather than kind of leaning in and doing this kind of thing. Just leave it as just a simple balance, right? And notice, what position is harder and what position is easier for you. Nothing, my microphones don't want to cooperate today. And now could you hold the up position? And try to notice, if I were to just do this without thinking about it, the way my body would do it is my heels would go in like this. So just notice, what do you think is happening in your body? Are your heels going straight up? No, it's still not connecting. And then come on down. And now let's try to balance on the heels a little bit. Keep breathing. Try to lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. Good job, you guys. Relax through your shoulders and your jaw. Good. And then just bring them down. All right, notice your feet, notice your ankles, notice how it all feels, and just kind of wiggle things out, shake them out. Good. And we're going to inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, forward fold. You can use your chair or you can go to the floor. Okay. Let's inhale, take your hands to the chair or your legs and extend your spine forward, not your chin though. Okay. And exhale, let's fold again. Then we're going to do that again. So inhale, you can take your hands to the chair or your knees and reach your chest forward, but not your chin, and take your weight toward the balls of your feet a little bit. Keep breathing. Try to stick your tail up. So if you can't stick your tail up, bend your knees. Yeah, just bend the knees a little bit. Good. Keep breathing. And then as you're ready, you're just going to step down onto the floor. So you're just going to come down onto your knees and then onto your bottom. And these guys are not going to work, so I'll just use my voice. Let me know if you can't hear me. All right. So as you're sitting on the floor, you're going to take those legs forward again. Straighten them if you can. Now, for some people, that's really intense, so you can always do this, right? Just take a blanket or something so that the knees can be a little supported and bent. And then you can also sit with your back against something if you want to. All right. Now, from here, we're just going to inhale, pull the toes back. So just like we did on the floor, standing, and exhale, plantar flexion, and repeat. You can always prop your hands up behind you. Good, now let's roll the ankles, but as you do this, we're going to do it without moving your knees if you can. So you might be like, oh yeah, I wasn't moving my knees, but sometimes we couldn't do this, right? So you're just trying to keep those babies still and roll the ankles and then roll them in the opposite direction, trying to take it through its full range. Again, relaxing through the neck, keeping your breath going. Good. All right, I'm just going to shake them out a little bit.